Hey everyone, David and Shadowdrake here from Shadowdrake Creations. I want to share with you a module I've been building called the Archive of Voices. It's something I've wanted to do for a while now, and this video is to test the waters and see if there's enough interest to move forward into a full public release. Before we dive in, I want to talk openly about something important. This project is powered by artificial intelligence. I know there's a lot of debate around the use of AI in tabletop RPGs, so let me be clear. This tool does not write your story. It does not invent new plot lines. Your narrative is yours alone. What Archive of Voices does is help you tell that story more vividly by giving your NPCs a consistent voice and memory to draw from. I've been a GM for nearly 30 years, and let's be honest, it's hard to remember what NPC 1 told your players, much less what they sounded like when you're 70 sessions in and you're on NPC 57. So I set out to build a tool that helps with that. One that gives each of your NPCs their own character, their own tone, and their own personality. A way for them to speak in their own voice, no matter what your players ask them. Archive of Voices is an NPC assistant that uses GPT to roleplay your characters, but only within the boundaries you define. Their responses are based entirely on the memories and journals you give them. They do not improvise story beats, they do not search the internet, and they definitely do not alter the course of your game. That is, unless you put something in their memories that can. In this video, I'll walk you through everything the module can currently do and show you how to start making your NPCs feel more diverse, more immersive, and more alive, because now they finally have a voice of their own. Okay, that intro was 100% scripted, but I wanted to make sure that I was being very direct and very clear about what I was using AI for in this module. Now, let's just talk about the module. First things first, we're going into the settings, configure settings. Well, it's showing my API key there. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to be protected like a password. There must be a little glitch in the code that I missed. There's not enough of it there for you guys to use, so it doesn't matter right now. Basically, you put your API code in there, and after storing it, it's stored like a password is stored. You can't recover it. You have to have it someplace else. After that, we have choices of AI models. It starts at 3.5 turbo, which is fast and cheap, GPT-4, which is accurate but a little slower, and then GPT-4o, which is the fastest and multi-model, meaning that it has access to a lot more stuff. Then there's Whispers answers to the GM. As long as that's on, only the GM will see responses from the Archive of Voices. And also the second one there, GM only robot button, means only the GM has access to the GUI. You can change those obviously and give access to your players, let your players see responses, however you want to do it. Now, the next most important part of this is the journals themselves, because all this is based on journals for the moment. When you first activate the module, it will create a folder in your journals called NPC Memories, and it will create a helper bot, basically named Helper, and it will give you his base memories here. Helper bot is there. You can ask him questions about the module. How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do the other? And he will tell you all about it. I'm going to tell you about it myself right now, but for later on, if you just jumped in with a module and you haven't seen a tutorial guide or how to do anything with this, Helper bot is there for you. I have a second NPC that I've already installed named Jarus. He's an NPC that I created for one of my other worlds, and he's here to show you just how powerful and in-depth that this module can be. So the GUI, you must be in the chat messages here, the chat tab of Foundry, and you'll find this little robot head down here next to the trash can. You click on that, it opens up, you have your GUI here. We have 3 tabs across the top. Right now it's chat, creating new NPC, and the pro features. We'll get into those later. The chat is the heart and soul of this thing. This is what I created this module for. And this is the spot where you can talk to your NPCs. So we have select NPC, and right now it is currently set to none. If you ask a question and you leave select NPC at none, it will ask ChatGPT. Whatever model you have set in your settings, that's what it's going to ask. I left this functionality here for situations such as rules questions. Does sharpshooter negate 3/4 cover, prone, and I'm covered by darkness? Instead of searching the internet, I can just come here and I can ask ChatGPT real quick. It'll just search the internet for me and come back with a pretty decent answer. After that, any NPC that has a file in the NPC's memories right now will show up in your dropdown. So if I open my dropdown, I have Helper and Jarus. There's a feature coming later where if you've given access to your players to use this and you've pre-created a dozen NPCs or something that they can run into later, there's a feature coming later in the pro version where you can hide those NPCs from the dropdown if it's not the GM. For now, we're going to go and talk to Helper for just a moment. I'm going to ask Helper a question about this module. I'm just going to say, tell me about the archive of memories. I'm going to hit send, and you're going to see it's going to put my question in the chat room. It's going to put the response in the chat room, but then it's also going to put the response in the GUI. I did this for two reasons. One, I have a massive screen, and looking over at the chat all the time gets to be a pain in the neck. And the other is, if you're using this in a browser and you have the module pop-out installed as well, you can pop this out into a new window and just have your response right there in that new window. So Helper has come back and told us the archive of memories is a vast repository of various NPC memories that are stored and organized. This archive acts like a library of such, keeping details about NPC backgrounds, personality traits, known facts, and other relevant information in a structured way. You can think of it like a series of journals, each dedicated to a specific NPC, ensuring that whenever you interact with them, they remain consistent with their established identities. It's like asking two different people, why is the sky blue? You're going to get an answer from one person in one fashion and the other person in a completely different fashion. And that's the idea behind this. So now if we go over to my other NPC, Jarus, I want to show you first his memory profile. Comparing his memory profile to Helper, you can see that it is much, much more detailed. There's a whole lot more information here. And the more information that you give it right off the bat, the more unique your NPC is going to be, the more unique his responses or their responses are going to be. So Jarus has an origin, he has a current status, he has personality traits, he has example dialogue, known habits and quirks, places he enjoys in the city he's in, his observation on the city, and actually some role-playing tips. And then you can go in there and I can add, so he's a splinter, and I've added him a specific rule, is that he does not know what a splinter of this person is, and while you feel drawn to this place and others that I tell you are splinters, you don't know exactly why. All right, and so that's one of the rules that he will keep in mind all the time. Now, let me show you why this is so powerful. So if I select Jarus here and I go and give it some input, I'm not even going to ask it a question. I'm going to give it some more input. I'm going to tell it, I'm going to say, hello, Jarus, I am Damon, the GM of this world. And I'm going to send, and I will get a response from Jaris in the chat. It says, "Oh, greetings, Damon. A title I've not yet sketched in the star. Is GM a constellation, perhaps? A collection of simmering points in the sky, shaping what we see? No matter. Your voice carries like the whispering of the spiral. Or is it more like the whisper of a hidden brook? It's delightful to have another weave through the city's threads. What wonder or whimsy brings you here, O cartographer of tales?" So as you can see, his response was much, much different. If I switch over to HelperBot and I say, "Hello, Helper. My name is Damon. I'm the GM of this world." Again, the exact same statement that I gave to Jaris, and I hit send. "Hello, Damon. A pleasure to meet you. As GM, you wield great power over the world and its stories. How can I assist you today? Do you have any questions about mapping NPC memories or anything else in this fantasy realm?" Two different NPCs, the exact same statement, two completely different responses. And the real beauty about it is they are going to remember these interactions that I've had with them. So if we go back over here to Jaris's journal, you see it's added a new page called Memory Log. There it has the log of the question that I asked, or the statement that I gave, and the response that I got from Jaris. So now, if I go back to the chat and I select Jaris, and I can say, "What did I tell you my name is?" We'll hit send. Pardon me. Your name. Yes, that's the glimmer on the tip of the comet's tail, isn't it? Damon, I believe. Like the way the stars might hum to the gentle touch of the wind, quite the name, carrying with it a renaissance as if it belonged on the echoing corridors of a forgotten melody. Or was it something else entirely? My memory can be as fickle as a shadow cast by a flickering flame. But Damon feels right, doesn't it? Like an old song misremembered just so. Jaris stayed in character. He remembered what I told him. And when I asked him about it again, he stayed in character and gave me the proper response. He did not create anything. He did not search the internet. And he certainly didn't change anything that I wanted going on in the story. He just gave me a very creative response. And that's the point behind all of this, is to get a creative response from your NPCs as if they are actual people. So once again, going back to Jaris, we have another memory log, me asking him what my name was. And this works with any NPC that you create and you put in there, and you can go and you can ask endless questions and give it endless data, and it can recall it. It's just, I'm almost at a loss for words at how much I really enjoy what I've created here. Now, moving beyond this, we created an NPC creator, right? This is a very quick way for you to create an NPC. You can name it whatever you want. We've got all the 5e races for the moment. It's just 5e. I know everybody's going to say, "Oh, well, what about Pathfinder and Cthulhu and all these other weird branches of RPGs?" We're going to work on that. That's coming. Classes, again, just 5e because, well, I play 5e. We'll set it up so that you can select classes from other games that you play. I can tell you already in the background of the code that if you are playing on Pathfinder or Cthulhu or some other weird RPG, it looks to see what you're playing on or what system that you're using, and it will do its best to create a background that fits that system. So instead of giving me a 5e character, if I'm actually in Pathfinder, it will do its best to give me a Pathfinder character and a Pathfinder background. You have a list of personality traits that you can select from. Don't forget we have gender, of course, male, female, other. You have a list of personality traits. This is a pretty curated list of different personality traits that people can have. And then, of course, you have just an input box here where you can give as much description or as little description or information as you want. So let's create Damon. He's curious, studious, compassionate about what he does. He can be impulsive, and as far as adventurous, physical, let's just say that, well, he's lazy. That's why he created this module in the first place. And then we'll say Damon is the GM of a D&D 5e game. He likes to build vivid stories with deep meaning for his players. All right, something really simple. And then we hit generate personality. And it's going to take it just a minute because ChatGPT is going to go through all the selections that you made and try and generate a personality for this person, Damon. There we go. So, Damon is a young scholar and aspiring sage who has found his calling in storytelling and game mastery. He resides in a modest abode filled with books, maps, and game notes scattered across every surface. It's not far from the truth. An only child, no, I've got a half-brother, and a vivid imagination, yes, very much. Damon has always been drawn to the world of fantasy and adventure. Despite his sometimes haphazard approach, Damon's passion for creating meaningful narrative is unrivaled as he constantly seeks new ways to engage and entertain his players. Well, yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Curious, Damon's insatiable curiosity often drives him to explore strange and esoteric topics. He frequently delves into obscure lore to enrich the stories he creates for his companions. Studious while he struggles with laziness. When something piques his interest, Damon can spend hours absorbed in research, losing all track of time in the process. My wife has complained about the amount of hours I've put on building this module because it just stuck with me. And beneath his sometimes chaotic exterior lies a heart filled with empathy. He strives to create inclusive stories that resonate with every player at his table. Okay, that one's definitely true. Damon is known to make spontaneous decisions, both in life and during game sessions, which can lead to exciting but unpredictable outcomes. This brings an element of surprise to his games, but can also lead to unexpected turns. Yeah, also. Lazy, despite his love for crafting intricate plots and worlds, Damon can be notoriously lax about certain details, sometimes leading to gaps in his planning that he must resolve on the fly. 90% of my game is ad-lib. I'm just going to say. Doodles on everything. Game notes are a chaotic mess of diagrams, sketches, and side notes that mirror his scattered creative mind. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Overly dramatic voice. When narrating pivotal scenes in his game, Damon's voice becomes markedly theatrical, adding an exaggerated flair that captivates his audience. Yeah, okay. My players would probably agree with that. Random trivia, often known to interrupt conversations with randomly seemingly useless trivia or obscure facts he's recently come across. I've made pop culture references in the middle of my game and literally stopped the game to say that if anybody can tell me where that pop reference came from, I'll give you inspiration. It's almost like it knows me. Approachable and friendly. Absent-minded is not uncommon for Damon to zone out mid-sentence, lost in thought as his mind wanders to potential storylines or twists for his next session. Okay, we're not going to go through all the rest. Well, there's not much, but we're not going to go through the rest of it. Now, once your NPC is created, or your apparently text version of yourself is created, you have a Save to NPC Memories button here. You click that, and, well, it saves it over here. Nice and organized, just like you want it. And now, if we go back to our chat tab, we will find that, well, you got to close it and reopen it. Close it, reopen it, and now we have Damon in the selected NPC. Tell me about yourself. Send. It's going to go off and look at Damon's personality profile and come back in the voice of Damon. Greetings, traveler. I am Damon, humble scholar and enthusiastic weaver of tales. That's me to a T. That's the module in a nutshell, guys. There's a lot more stuff that I have planned. So some pro features, memory editing. This button here, instead of being pro features, will actually be an editor for memories. So if you've got 100 NPCs, instead of trying to scroll through the entire list of NPCs and find exactly the one you want, you've got a drop down here where you pick your NPC and it pulls up their memories. The NPC reveal control, hiding NPCs from your players. A regenerate personality button, markdown previews so you can see what your thing is going to look like when it's actually going to go into the journal. A journal summary. Just you pull up a journal in the UI here, and it just summarizes it for you directly in a sidebar. Since I can make NPCs, why not make vendors? Why not make shops and create shopkeepers with themed populated inventories? Because I don't know about you guys, but there's never enough shops in my world. I want to be able to create an actual actor from my NPCs. So there's a button. I've got my Damon character now. I click a button and now Damon is an actual placeable token that I can put in my world. Voice style guidelines for auto-generating tone and cadence, session summaries, conversation memories, import, export NPCs, UI templates. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. Right, I've rambled on enough. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this module as much as I do. If anybody wants to give it a try in its current form, contact me. I will drop you the zip. You will have to manually install it. GitHub hates me. But you're more than welcome to test it. As I say, you're going to need an API key. Until then, happy gaming, guys. And I look forward to hearing your responses.